Imagine looking at Earth, but not from space the way we humans see it. Imagine seeing it through alien eyes. What would they notice first? Our oceans, our lights, our mistakes? Or the strange civilization crawling on its surface convinced it's alone? Today, we're stepping into the minds of hypothetical extraterrestrials and asking, what would aliens see when they look at Earth? First, they wouldn't see borders or flags. Those exist only in human minds. Instead, they'd see a blue-green marble wrapped in swirling white clouds, a rare jewel in the darkness. A planet covered in liquid water, something so astronomically precious that even advanced civilizations would pause in awe. Water means chemistry. Chemistry means life. So before they even zoom in, Earth would already be flagged as unusual, even extraordinary. From afar, they'd see our atmosphere, a thin layer glowing faintly blue. But it wouldn't just look interesting, it would sound interesting, chemically speaking. Earth's air is filled with oxygen in quantities that shouldn't exist naturally for long. Oxygen is unstable. It reacts. It disappears without something constantly replenishing it. That something is life. To alien scientists, this wouldn't be subtle. It would be a screaming, blinking neon sign saying, life is here. Plants, algae, bacteria constantly pumping oxygen into the sky? They'd know immediately. As they get closer, they'd detect methane too. Another clue. Methane and oxygen together? That's like seeing fire and gasoline in the same room and realizing someone's actively keeping them apart. That balance doesn't happen by accident. Our planet is biologically noisy, breathing, burping, erupting with chemical signals. It would be impossible to ignore. But suppose aliens are not just scientists. Suppose they're explorers, curious like us. As they approach, lights would catch their attention. Earth doesn't just reflect sunlight, it produces its own glow at night. Cities shimmering like constellations on land, a technological signature no natural process can mimic. They'd see electrical grids tracing our continents, highways glowing like neural pathways, and satellites, thousands of them, orbiting in synchronized chaos. To them, our night side would look like a planet trying to imitate the stars. Imagine their surprise. Planets don't normally light up. If they had a word for civilization, this would be the moment they whisper it. And then comes the sound. Not the sound we hear with ears, but the electromagnetic noise we blast into space every second. For 100 years, Earth has been yelling unintentionally into the universe. Radio, TV broadcasts, radar, Wi-Fi, military signals, GPS swarms, digital whispers and shouts. If aliens had sensitive detectors, they would hear us long before they saw us. Not words, not memes, not TikToks, just a growing bubble of static, expanding at the speed of light. Like a baby civilization crying in the dark. Technology announcing itself long before it knows who's listening. Zooming in further, they'd see our land transform. Forests shrinking. Farmland spreading like a patchwork quilt. They might detect the heat signatures of our cities, the pollution in our skies. They'd watch us dam rivers, strip mountains, reshape coastlines, terraform our own world not with elegance, but with bulldozers. Would they see ingenuity or immaturity? Would they see intelligence or a species experimenting recklessly with its own habitat? And then something even stranger. Movement. Billions of tiny dots swarming over continents, clustered in cities, traveling in lines across oceans and skies. Airplanes like metallic insects, ships cutting through water, cars crawling like mechanized ant trails. The planet is alive not just biologically, but mechanically. A civilization not hiding, not silent, but roaring with motion. Aliens would see patterns. They'd see energy consumption spike at night. They'd see industrial zones glowing hotter than deserts. They'd see agricultural cycles, fishing fleets, mining operations. They might even see war, explosions, troop movements, clouds rising where they shouldn't. Would they feel pity? Fear? Curiosity? Disappointment? And here's a thought. Maybe before they even focused on humans, they'd notice other life. The dazzling coral reefs like galaxies beneath the waves, the migrations of whales singing through oceans, the herds, the flocks, the rainforests breathing mist into the sky. They might wonder if this was the dominant species. Dolphins communicating, ants farming, birds navigating continents without technology, life everywhere, complexity everywhere. A biosphere bursting with creativity long before humans arrived. Only later would they realize that one species changed everything. One species built machines, launched rockets, pierced its own atmosphere. They might watch early humans discovering fire, building tools, painting caves. They'd see civilizations rise and fall like tides. Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, the empires, the revolutions. They might ask, is conflict the cost of intelligence? Is cooperation the lesson they haven't mastered yet? And if their instruments were powerful enough, they'd see us now. Our languages, our internet, our wars and our peace. Our science reaching out for other worlds. Our culture exploding with creativity, music, art, stories, dreams. They'd see triumph and tragedy intertwined. A species capable of splitting atoms and writing poetry about it. We are contradictory, confusing, miraculous, dangerous, and fascinating. The question is, what would aliens think seeing all this? Maybe they'd see potential, a civilization in adolescence. Loud, messy, curious, full of energy and mistakes, but brimming with possibility. Maybe they'd see themselves millions of years ago and feel a strange nostalgia. Or maybe they'd see risk. A species that mastered technology before mastering wisdom. A species altering its climate, poisoning its oceans, building weapons capable of ending everything it loves. Maybe they'd decide to simply watch us from a distance, like scientists observing a fragile experiment, hoping we get it right. And maybe, just maybe, they'd be impressed. Not by our perfection, but by our persistence. By our refusal to stop exploring. By our urge to look back at the stars and wonder who's looking at us. Because the truth is, if aliens are watching, we've already passed one universal test. We asked the question. We dared to look up instead of down. We reached beyond ourselves. So what would aliens see when they look at Earth? They'd see a world alive, a species learning, a story still being written. And the ending? That part is up to us.